Let us see the next question. There are two mutual funds, namely D Mutual Fund, K Mutual Fund, each having close-ended equity schemes. The term close-ended equity scheme means that whatever the investment which has been made by the investor, it is going to remain locked for a certain time period. That is what we understand is the close-ended. On 31st of December 2019, net asset value of the equity scheme of D Mutual Fund is 70 rupees 71 paise, consisting 99% equity and the remaining cash balance. And that of K Mutual Fund Ltd, it is 62 rupees 50 paise, consisting 96% equity and the balance in the cash. Following is the other information. We have been provided with the information about the Sharpe Ratio, Treynor Ratio and standard deviation for mutual fund D and mutual fund K. There is no change in the portfolio during the next month, and annual average, highlight the word annual average cost is 3 rupees per unit for the scheme of both the mutual funds. If share market goes down by 5%, share market goes down by 5%, means you have to understand that say the market portfolio has fallen down. It means we understand that say Nifty has gone down or Sensex has gone down. That is what you have to understand. Within a month, calculate expected net asset value after a month for the schemes of both the mutual funds. For calculation, consider 12 months in a year and ignore number of days for a particular month. I request all of you to go through the question and then we'll discuss how to do answer. I want all of you to pay attention properly. I'm going to give you an explanation how to do answer. We have been provided with the information about the two mutual funds. Out of that, I am discussing with you for the mutual fund D. For mutual fund D, it has been given it is 70 rupees 71 paise. It has been given to us consisting of 99% equity. So use a calculator, 70.71 into 99%. That comes to 70 rupees. So this is equity and this is cash. This is the way preliminarily we are required to do the bifurcation. Now what happens that say the question is providing the information that say you are required to make the computation of the net asset value after a month. That is a question. It has been provided to us that 3 rupees is the cost per unit. It is on annual basis. So use a calculator, 3 divided by 12, it comes to 25 paise. So from 71 paise, we'll deduct 25 paise. And this is what say we understand is a closing cash balance at the end of the month. 3 rupees is for the entire year. So for 1 month, it will be 12 paise. Now we are required to make the computation that what is the change in the equity valuation. The question is providing the information that the market portfolio has gone down by 5%. From this information, importantly, we are required to find beta. What is beta? I do not know. Suppose that say after making the calculation, we find that say the beta value is 2. Suppose for example. Then 5 into 2, it comes to 10%. So what does it mean? It means that say the value of the equity share is falling down by 10%. So 70 rupees minus 7. This will be 63, and accordingly we are required to make the calculation of the NAV per unit at the end of the month. Now how to make the calculation of the beta? Let us understand. For beta calculation, of course, we are required to use the information of the Treynor's ratio. So, let me explain you before we write anything. Treynor's ratio is equal to x per minus rf divided by beta. I want the answer in terms of beta. So, beta is equal to x per minus rf divided by Treynor's ratio. We have Treynor's ratio 15. However, we do not have x per minus rf right now. At the same time, you can see the information is provided to us regarding the Sharpe ratio and standard deviation. So what you can do, dear students, Sharpe ratio is equal to x per minus rf divided by standard deviation. So x per minus rf is equal to Sharpe ratio into standard deviation. Yes. So we can find the numerator value like this. X per minus rf is calculated as Sharpe ratio into standard deviation. What is Sharpe ratio? It is 2. What is standard deviation? 11.25. So it is 2 into 11.25 divided by Treynor's ratio, which is given to us as 15. That is the way the beta is calculated. Once you compute the beta into percentage change in RM will give percentage change in the return of the security, and based on that, so we can compute NAV at the end of the month. This is the way we are required to do answer. So write down answer of the question. I am dictating a few points to you before we write answer. First point. In this question, we have to compute net asset value at the end of the month, comma, taking into account cash balance and equity value at the end of month. Second point, in order to find equity value at the end of month, comma, we have to take into account percentage change in RM and beta of investment. Full stop. Working note number 1, calculation of x per minus RF using Sharpe ratio. So Sharpe ratio is equal to x per minus RF divided by standard deviation. So x per minus RF is equal to Sharpe ratio into standard deviation. This is required to be calculated for both the mutual funds. that is mutual fund D and mutual fund K. Sharpe ratio is 2 into standard deviation is 11.25, and for K it is 3.3 into 5 percentage. That comes to 22.5, and over there it is 16.5. That is the way X per minus RF, that is what we understand in technical term, additional return is calculated. Working note number 2, calculation of beta using Sharpe ratio information. Sorry, using Treynor's ratio information. So it will be calculated like this, that Treynor's ratio is equal to X per minus RF divided by beta. So beta is X per minus RF divided by Treynor's ratio. Again it will be calculated for D and K. For D and for K. So we understand that it is 22.5. This is 16.5. Divided by Treynor's ratio. Treynor's ratio is 15 for each of them. So 22.5 upon 15 is 1.5. 16.5 upon 5, sorry, 15 is 1.1. That is the way we can compute the beta. Next is calculation of closing net asset value at the end of month. So let us see that say how to find the closing NAV. It is D for Delhi Mutual Fund and K Mutual Fund. In that say we are required to work out the answer like this: beginning, end, again beginning and end. That is the way we are required to write answer. We understand that it is equity value and cash balance. Okay. This is provided as 70 rupees 71 paise. This is 70 rupees 71 paise. And 99% is what we understand is equity. So 70 rupees 71 paise into 99 percentage. That comes to 70 rupees. And this is balancing figure 71 paise. Now end of the month, what will happen to your students? This will be 0.71 less 3 divided by 12, because 3 rupees is the cost for the entire year, and so we are required to work out the answer for 1 month. So 3 divided by 12 is 25 paise, that is subtracted from 71 paise. So the closing balance is 46 paise. That is the way the balance is calculated at the end of the month. As far as the equity valuation is concerned, what will happen to your students? 70 rupees minus, we understand it is 1.5 into 5 percentage. 1.5 into 5 percentage. Why minus? Because we understand that the market is falling down. So 1.5 into 5, that comes to 7.5 percentage. 70 minus 7.5%, that comes to 64.75 plus 46 paise is 65.21. That is the way the balance is required to be found at the end of the month. I request all of you to do answer for K Mutual Fund on your own and put your answer in the chat box. So friends, over here we understand that in case of K Mutual Fund, NAV is 62.5 at the beginning of the period and 96% is equity. So first of all, you are required to do bifurcation 62.5 and 62.5 into 96%. That comes to 60 rupees and the cash balance will be 62.5 minus 60. That is 2 rupee 50 paise. The way we had over here 70.71 minus 70 rupees. Now it has been given to us that say there is a expense of 3 rupees per unit. So in that case it is 2 rupee 50 paise minus 3 divided by 12 months. That comes to 25 paise. So it is 2 rupee 25 paise. In case of the equity valuation, what will happen? Let us see. In case of the equity valuation, it is 60 rupees minus. Once again, why minus? Because we understand that the market is falling down and the beta is positive. 1.10. So minus 1.10 into 5%. So use a calculator. 1.1 into 5, that is 5.5. So 60 minus 5.5%, that comes to 56.7. So this 56.7 is added to 2.25 and it comes to 58.95. This is what we understand is the closing net asset value at the end of the month. Please write down answer. So summary of the entire answer. In this question, the question is providing that we are required to compute the NAV at the end of the month. There are two components. One is the cash, another is the equity valuation. Cash is very simple to calculate. It is the opening balance minus expenses of the month, that is 25 paise. As far as the valuation of the equity at the end of the month is concerned, in that we understand the opening valuation minus the change in the value. We understand that the market has fallen down. So if at all the beta of the security, beta of the investment is positive, then in that case the equity value will also fall down. So taking into account the given information, first of all we compute the beta. In my opinion, in this question, calculation of the beta is the most important point that we have. Using the Sharpe Ratio and the Treynor Ratio information, then we compute that what is the opening breakup. Based on that, the closing values are calculated and the closing NAV is calculated for both the mutual funds.